Talk about little sports. Let's have a little fun since we all chop it up and we do what we talk about in the barbershop. We chop about sports. We're gonna talk about these Los Angeles Lakers fighting for just to make the NBA playoffs. Like I said before, every team is trying to make the playoffs. I don't see why this is a big story. I just don't get it. I don't understand. Everybody, the Knicks was up. They losing. They're trying to make it to the play-in game. Everybody trying to make it.
Yeah, it's the expectations though, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
Everybody starts with the expectation.
Yeah,
but D, I mean, when you've had like the reigning best player in the sport, put together a team of aging former all-stars, and then the second largest media market in the country. This was really, really big, and they actually, you had AD and you had LeBron together. Then you go ahead and bring Melo off the bench. You bring Westbrook in. You give up a lot of pieces to get Russell Westbrook. Now, I told my nephew from the beginning, this not going to work. And I saw the Lakers try to do this before with Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Shaq, Kobe. It just doesn't work. You just can't buy a championship. It just usually does not work like that. Football may be a little different. The Rams just did it. They just said, forget all the draft picks. We're going to just go all in and try to get talent and win right now. Some people you can catch lightning in a bottle. But at the end of the day, I think this era just believes it's LeBron's birthright to be in the finals. And they just feel like they have to surround him with talent to get him another ring. This is this quest to catch Michael Jordan's ring count. LeBron is going to own every major record in basketball by the time he retires. The thing that he probably will not get is this sixth ring to tie Michael Jordan, and definitely not 7 to pass him. And I think that's the biggest thing. And I think for that reason, LeBron and his organization, they have a lot of influence on the front office. And if you remember, when he got on the team, a lot of Laker fans did not want LeBron. They were still believing Kobe Bryant was the greatest Laker of all time in their estimation, even though I believe that's Magic Johnson. And they were just like, they didn't receive him that well. He goes and gets one ring in the bubble. And that bubble ring to me is controversial. And so
I disagree. I'm going to let you finish on this controversial part.
Go ahead.
I think that was the hardest championship probably to win.
Now, this is what I'll tell you. Go ahead. Go.
Because they have no
give fans, me comps.
No fans. No fans. You're not near your family. You stay in one spot. It's different. Everything when you naturally play in something with an arena, when you're talking about 20,000 people every night, to change that whole thing, it's a kind of psychological fuck up. It's different. I think that might have been the hardest championship for anybody to win. Even with baseball, you got cardboard cutouts, barely any fans. You live off that energy. That energy can sometimes get you to the next level. I think that's a hard championship. Now, the thing with the Lakers,
I see your point. You know what I'm saying?
But can I counter that point now, or you want to wait till you finish?
No, let Dean finish. Let Dean finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, besides the thing, you also said they brought in Westbrook. Like you said, I agree. That was a bad plan. You brought in Melo. The Lakers did that to themselves. Melo has never won no way on that kind of stage in NBA anywhere, and they always seem like they did bad. Westbrook never won any place else. Like, it always did bad. LeBron won with less talent before. You know what I'm saying? So like the thing when they did that big three out in Miami, that was different, right? You had some people that they gel, but besides the big three, they really had no really star crazy ill plays. This time they loaded to the bench. You got Dwight Howard. You got everybody. The touches ain't there. Like I don't think that's what I'm thinking. Laker fans can't be mad. He brought them a championship. Jerry West brought one championship to him, right? I mean, what?
Yeah.
One. One, right? One, right? I said one like this. I'm fucked up. One.
One got one. Yeah.
But this is the thing. But D, this is the thing. I think you inadvertently made my point. First of all, you're talking about from a home perspective away. LeBron James is not good from a free throw line. It is a lot different trying to shoot free throws with 19,000 people booing you. Also, there was no travel. So part of playing in the NBA is actually having to travel, not being in your own city, not being in your own bed, having to go on the road. That's why there is a home advantage. Well, in the bubble, you had no home advantage or road disadvantage. The reality of it, everybody was in the same setting. Secondly, Miami Heat actually made it to the finals. They made it to the finals in the bubble. But why don't they make it to the finals out of the bubble? Because it is harder to make it to the finals outside of the bubble. That's the reality. They were all in a controlled, contained environment versus jumping on and off a plane. You're walking down the hall to your room.
Yeah, but also you got the away energy brings you. Some people like being the villain.
LeBron doesn't.
Come in the Garden.
LeBron doesn't like being the villain.
LeBron don't mind being. He gonna go in certain cities.
Look at his first year in Miami when he was the villain. Did he get upset by the Dallas Mavericks?
Dallas Mavericks had a good squad. People keep sleeping on Dirk. I don't know why people sleep on that white.
Dallas Mavericks was an underdog.
That was underdog, and I was going for him. I felt Dallas was gonna win that.
And LeBron ain't come there to lose the first one because he came not to win one.
I know,
not two, not three.
That was some young 20-year-old hype.
But I'm saying the bubble to me, and I get it. The bubble, basically, this is what it was. We were all in a pandemic. Everybody's in a pandemic. Everybody's getting used to a different environment. So to have to be in a bubble where everybody's getting tested every day, and then you're just dealing with a 5-star hotel and stuff like that, I do think you'd still find the strength to go on. You're playing in an empty gym, but D, you're playing in an empty gym. Everybody's playing in the same environment. It's not as much pressure. Is that as much pressure?
Everybody is different. Everybody, that sound, the difference. Even when you like the way, when you go away, sometimes when you gelling together, like, yo, we in this together. Me, Rod, Derek, and Kelvin getting this together. We're gonna do this together on the road. It's different now. You took away that part of the game. It's gotta fuck you up. You're in a bubble doing this regular shit. You're away from your family, your kids. Now you're doing everything on FaceTime. It's a whole different energy, man.
Oh yeah, well that's an adjustment.
I think that was harder than winning the fucking in front of 20,000.
I like I said before, I think D has a good point because the thing is, in the bubble, the crowd does play a role to athletes. And I think during the bubble, a lot of guys played down because there was nothing there to excite them.
Yep.
So they weren't playing at 100%. You know what I'm saying? They were just trying to basically get through the game. Where now you're playing in front of 20,000 people, you can't come out there and be a burger. You got to come out there and do your thing. So I kind of believe that
I can understand that. Now let me ask you a question. Do you remember the Dream Team, the only real Dream Team? Mm-hmm. Do you know they said that their toughest games and the best games was in practice? Do you know they competed that hard?
Because they compete against each other,
right? And when you play at a park, when you played you played handball, you played basketball or whatever, and there's nobody watching, you still go ahead. The competition is what drives you on when your man is in front of you and stuff like that. You still
not
compete,
in professional sports. In professional sports, you got to understand you're playing to the crowd, and the crowd's playing to you. And you got to understand you have conditioned yourself for that crowd.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? That crowd plays a huge role, Kelvin.
And
I can agree with that, but both teams are playing in the same situation. To me,
I agree, and I think that they're both playing the same way. And there's players on there that's probably not playing 100%.
Kelvin, you also making a point, man, really against yourself because listen, everybody, you're not taking into account the mental strength aspect to it, man. Everybody's on the same level, man. Remember, there's a whole pandemic going on outside. People are worried about
families are fucked up, all kind of shit.
You have to be completely insulated. There were people who did not want to go in the bubble.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
No question. But I just asked you this last point.
And you can't say like the Lakers weren't the only team that that was like that. All the teams were like that. So
I just want to ask one question.
To me, that was a perfect.
I want to ask one question, and I'll close with this question. And you make a good point, Derek. I'll close with this question. Why were people's averages up? Why did some people get 50 and they never got 50 before?
Because guys were playing down. They wasn't giving 100%. The defense wasn't that strong. No, because the guys are just saying.
Y'all really think NBA players got on the court with other NBA players and laid down? That's what
I think, guys. I mean, Kelvin, look. You're telling me when you were watching them play in the bubble, you didn't see certain players that.
They had some of them games. Look at that game with Luka. That joint came down to the last second. They had a bunch of buzzer beaters. Yeah. They competed. They behind off in that bubble.
When you say the
I didn't see nobody dogging it out there.
When you say the scoring changed, how much are we talking about? You know what I mean? We're talking about like
I'll give you one perfect example.
What are we talking about?
Donovan Mitchell had 50 and he had never had 50 to that point.
What was his average though? His average for that year?
His average is probably 27 a game.
Was it
in the playoffs? 50 dropping 50 in the playoffs? What is he, Michael Jordan?
Was he consistent with his average? Like what I'm saying is everybody, you have outliers. In every single season, you're gonna have an outlier game. Everybody has that. The guy that's bench player who's the 8th man, he'll come off and drop a 20-piece, man, at least once during
Julius Randle.
Season. Yeah, you know
Last year.
Yeah,
So
at
everybody's
that
gonna have
time,
outliers, yeah.
Phoenix was ahead of schedule. Phoenix didn't lose one game. They went 8. When last time Phoenix won 8 straight games in a playoff setting? Phoenix
It
at that
happened,
time.
man.
It just
It
happened.
Yeah,
happened.
it just
They
so
made the
happened to
playoffs, and
happen
it
in the
happened.
bubble, and
was
it didn't
their
happen
time.
outside the bubble.
Most teams
It
don't
was 2020,
repeat, bro.
2021. It was the wildest time. Everything was weird.
Most teams don't repeat, man.
Everything
But it
was
got weird and it got better, D. It got better.
Nah.
You're telling me when we were watching these games in the bubble. Now I remember watching certain games, and I'll be honest with you. To me, it didn't look like a game. It looked like it was practice because it was so quiet in the arena. You know what I'm saying? There was nobody there. You know, you're blowing a horn and ain't nobody in the room. It's like
Wait a
to me,
minute,
it didn't
Rodney.
look right.
Rodney, practice? We talking about practice. We're not talking about the game. We talking about practice.
Practice.
All right. We can indeed agree to disagree. I think y'all made some very, very good points, but it's one of those things where people look at it differently. Some people think that ring has an asterisk behind it. Now, LeBron James will have been on the Lakers for 4 years. His best year happened to be the bubble. Every other year, he either got hurt. 1 year didn't make the playoffs. 1 year got bounced last year in early rounds. So it does look like.
So he made the playoffs 2 years out of 4.
Listen, they can say that any sport when a person
He
gets
didn't make the playoffs 2 years out of 4.
How many say this is his 4th season, right?
All right, first year got hurt. They missed the playoffs, right?
Right.
Second year they got eliminated in the first round. This year they're not gonna make it.
He made the playoffs.
They may make the play in it. Made it once. They may make the play in this year.
They lost to the Pelicans. They're gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, well.
They're gonna get knocked out. I mean, but in sports, you can put an asterisk.
You know this? Y'all just don't want to recognize that Michael Jordan is better than LeBron, and that's just what it is. I know y'all don't want to say.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
I just think that what you're saying is kind of off tilt, though, to me. Like, you know, like with the bubble thing, I think that was hard. We never seen nothing like that before.
Yeah,
I think it's hard.
The thing with the comparison to Michael Jordan and LeBron, right? I look at it like this. First of all, it's totally 2 different eras, right?
Facts on that.
And the thing is, too, Michael Jordan won those championships with one team with mostly the same cast, right? Yep. LeBron went around to different teams and won these championships.
Which is very hard to do.
Which is very hard to do. So the thing is, like, there's a lot of. It's not fair to me.
Y'all look at that as a positive to go to the different teams.
I think it's harder. I think it's harder.
But you got it's culture of teams. Everything is different, man. The culture of a team
every time.
Yeah, correct. Everything. You gotta find the right chemistry more than once. You know what I'm saying? Not saying Michael Jordan didn't do that, but he basically had the same, at least 3 or 4 of the same people all the time playing when he won those championships. And he had a cast member that stayed with him the whole time. That was Scottie Pippen. Like LeBron didn't have that. He don't have the right-hand man that stayed with him the whole time.
This is how I look at it. I think Michael Jordan's the better player. I think LeBron James is the better person.
I think so too. And the thing is, too, I think people in today's society dislike LeBron James more than people dislike Jordan.
Let me ask you a question: if you were starting a franchise today from scratch, and you know what you know, would you choose with your first pick Michael Jordan or LeBron James from scratch?
Okay, and same age. They're the same age.
What era are we playing
in? The era ain't gonna matter to me. The era's not gonna matter to me. I'm gonna go with the guy that I think will stay at my franchise the longest.
We are talking about a young Michael Jordan, correct?
Yeah. They're both the same age in this era.
Not Michael the Wizard. Not Michael.
I'm gonna go with the guy that I think will. I'm gonna go with the guy that I think will stay.
Okay, interesting.
But it depends. Now that's different because now you're talking about Mike and those contracts back then, and now the NBA players took more control. Right. Mike, they signed long ass fucking deals. Remember, Michael Jordan was making lower than Brad Dorothy for years. He was making bullshit money. Then when he started getting those $30 million a year contracts and all that kind of stuff like that later on. So it depends. That's why
it was different.
It was different. That's what I'm saying. So it's kind of different. So if Mike had if they had the same business they have now, Mike would have jumped ship.
I think Michael is better. I would actually take Kobe over LeBron.
I agree with that. I agree with Jordan and Kobe over LeBron. I would do the same thing.
If I'm starting from scratch, I'm taking LeBron.
And I understand that too, because LeBron can play 5 positions.
LeBron makes you competitive faster, bro. He just makes you competitive faster.
Yeah.
I don't think nobody was more competitive than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is competitive to this
Oh
day.
no,
Yeah, yeah.
no,
Oh, yeah,
I'm,
no doubt.
but what I'm
About
I don't
the-
mean when I say competitive, I don't mean personally competitive. I mean he makes your team competitive. You
Mm.
build.
I know you're
faster
saying
with
he
LeBron.
gets you there.
He gets
but-
you to the playoffs faster. LeBron gets you to the playoffs faster. I feel like.
I mean, and we're arguing 1 and 1A anyway. It's
Yeah.
just, I just happen to. I actually liked Jordan's game better because to me, Jordan was a better scorer, and I think Jordan was more clutch. I think LeBron is a better passer. LeBron is a better rebounder. But Michael Jordan to me is definitely a better scorer. And obviously they didn't have the 3 ball then like they do now. But but you talk about they're both on the Mount Rushmore. I just got Jordan as that undefeated in the finals holds a lot of weight to me. A lot of weight.
Yeah. I just think that the two of them are incredible. I just don't want us to miss this opportunity, man. That right now we got this guy LeBron James, man, who's doing some stuff, man, that frankly we haven't seen before, man. You know, he's gonna take us. He's about to take this whole thing places that we have that it just hasn't.
But you know what, Derek, it's time to turn the page though. I look at these young boys, Morant.
Oh my God.
And Luka and them, it's their era coming up. It's the change of the guard. We watched Kareem leave, we watched Magic leave, we watched Kobe leave, we watched Shaq leave. We about to watch LeBron leave, and now this next generation, it's their time. They're about to take center stage.
Well, for that to happen, the NBA got to change and stop putting the Pelicans on prime time.
That's because your man Zion. That's because your man Zion, who played 2 games more than I did.
Yeah, they got to focus. John Morant it could be the face. I don't know if he has the look. I'm just saying. The little dreads just like that. I'm just saying the long locks. It's a little different thing when you look at marketing. I don't know if that's going to be, for him. And that he's in the small, even though LeBron was in Cleveland, but LeBron had the height. John since high school. Morant doesn't have the height, and he plays in Memphis.
Yeah.
If he would have been one more pick, he'd have been in New York. He's a whole different player. He's a god. He's in Memphis.
Well, it depends. He may be a scrub now. It's just when you walk in that building, he just becomes a scrub.